Hi, hi, hi. Thanks for the follow, Extracts. I don't know why, because I literally just started streaming, but thank you very much. We'll be checking out Edith Finch, what remains of Edith Finch today. I realize you guys cannot see the game at the moment, and I have no clue why. Oh, there it is, there it is. That's good. I haven't played this game before. I've downloaded it for a while, but I always wanted to check it out, and especially now because I'm in the mood of like storytell games.
A lot of this isn't going to make sense to you, and I'm sorry about that. I'm just going to start at the beginning, with the house.
I've seen the beginning of a playthrough of someone else. That's all I know about this game. And I also know that it isn't supported for an AZERTY keyboard, so maybe controller might be the option we need to go through. It works.
I lived here until I was 11, but I wasn't allowed inside half the rooms.
Ooh, these flowers. If I recall correctly, they're poisonous. I cannot literally change the keyboard settings. Okay, so keyboard is gonna be the way to go.
Inside the mailbox were bills from 7 years ago, marked urgent, open immediately.
I can't read them. Unlucky.
I hadn't been back since my brother Lewis's funeral. In her will, my mother left me a key, but didn't tell me what it unlocked. Maybe she thought I'd know. Or she thought the mystery would be enough to bring me back.
Left path.
The truth is, even after I inherited the house, I never thought I'd come back to it. But now I had questions about my family that only the house knew the answers to.
Milton Finch. It's probably the
The woods
brother.
around the house have always been uncomfortably silent. As if they're about to say something, but never do.
I really like the graphics on this game. Same guy.
The house was exactly like I remembered it, the way I'd been dreaming about it.
That's a cool house.
As a child, the house made me uncomfortable in a way I couldn't put into words. Now, as a 17-year-old, I knew exactly what those words were. I was afraid of the house.
wheelchair accessible.
I hope the key might unlock the front door. It didn't.
Controls are weird. Now you have to press the bumper instead of right bumper instead of like the
Looking in, I felt like the house itself had been
A
waiting
or
for me.
B key. I mean X key. That's a
Crawling through the doggy door used to be a lot easier
oh
when I was
doggy
11.
door.
The power had been turned off the night we left.
It's so mystical.
For the first time in years, I felt like I was home. The table was still a wreck from the night we left. It was like a bomb had gone off, killing everyone but sparing the furniture.
Dude, where's the mold? I mean, on the one hand, I'm happy to not see mold. On the other hand, it's really weird.
My mom was the only one of us who could imagine Great-Grandma Edie living in a nursing home.
I'm really surprised on how well this game looks. Like, not even kidding.
Nothing in the house looked abnormal. There was just too much of it, like a smile with too many teeth.
The amount of
Even the fireplace had a
books.
story. Edie told me the bricks came from the original house, after it sank.
Cool. Or maybe I just realized the left trigger and bumper do the same thing, so it might be just like I can use the left trigger, the right trigger as well to interact with the environment. Dude, I'm really surprised in how good this game looks. Holy moly. A holy moly. We can go there, or we can go here. I think we've been here.
Instead of a family, there were just memories of one. Only one restaurant would deliver to our house. We had Chinese a lot.
We also had Chinese a lot. But not because we couldn't order other things, just because we were used to eating Chinese food. We go upstairs or downstairs? That's a way to shut the door.
Edie told me once that every Finch who ever lived is buried somewhere in the library.
Why is it shut up then? Like, sealed that badly. With foam glue.
great-grandpa Sven built a music box for Barbara, along with the rest of the house. Mom always told me to stay out of the basement, so I wasn't too surprised when the key didn't fit.
Okay. There goes that option. Can I open this package? Nope. Those books looked empty on the... I don't know, I expect more on like a backside. But it fits with the minimalistic...
After Milton disappeared, Mom sealed up all the bedrooms. Then Edie retaliated and drilled peepholes. I spent a lot of time playing in Great Uncle Walter's room. I think my mom sometimes regretted not sealing it up.
Why would you seal up rooms?
Lewis told me there were secret passages, but I never believed him.
Oh.
Turns out, my mom was really good at keeping secrets. Now it was time to find out what my mom had been afraid of. Reading this, maybe it sounds like I had a plan. But I had no idea what was behind that door. Just like I had no idea where all this was gonna lead. I grew up looking at Molly's room through the peephole. Molly's gerbil had a tiny bedroom with its own even tinier gerbil cage.
That's cool.
Being inside for the first time, I felt like I'd stepped behind a painting.
I get why. This is surreal. Like, imagine actually going through a peephole, like a hole in the wall, and just finding this in your house. Holy moly.
I got the sense Edie had spent a lot of time here before my mom sealed the doors.
Is this Edie? Because it says Molly.
December 13th, 1947. Dear Diary, I'll be gone soon, but I wanted to tell somebody about what's gonna happen. It started when Mom sent me to bed without dinner. I woke up and I was starving, so I looked around for something to eat. The gerbil food was dry, but I didn't mind it.
I don't think that's healthy.
Mom, can I come out now?
Sweetheart, it's late. Go to sleep.
Go to sleep.
My Halloween candy was all gone.
Oh, I know the feeling. I know the feeling. You never want your candy to be gone. No, no, no. Please don't eat the fish. Please don't eat them.
I thought about eating Christopher, but I held back.
Thanks. I was kind of afraid, not gonna lie. I didn't want her to eat the fish. No!
Eating and eating.
don't need toothpaste. Okay, so this part I remember from like
Did a lot of things that night.
a thing I've seen. Oh, don't need just red berries, you're fine. Come on, child. You should know better.
Then I heard chirping outside my window.
Uh-oh.
It was a barn swallow going back to her nest. I reached out for her.
Yeah, you're fit to through that. I was a cat?
I tried to be quiet, but the bird was really scared.
Yeah. No wondering why. If you're a cat and you want to eat the bird, why would the bird be scared?
Mom and Dad didn't even look at me.
There's the bird.
I jumped and I almost got her.
Cool. Oh, I thought I jumped off.
I could tell she was getting really tired. Now I was up in the big tree. I promised Dad I wouldn't climb it anymore. All I cared about was eating that mama bird.
Okay. I don't know why it has had to be said that's a mama bird, but
I gobbled her up. And suddenly, I was an owl. First, all I heard was the wind. Then I heard little teeth nibbling in the grass.
I don't think that toothpaste was really toothpaste.
Rabbits.
Oh, so I need to get rabbits. I saw one. Oh.
I imagined his face looking up and seeing mine through my talons. I swallowed him up, and I didn't chew one bit. Then I flew off to find something bigger.
What the hell? How much hunger does this kid have? Holy.
A mama rabbit.
Is that bigger? Why is a mama rabbit bigger?
She was almost too big to carry. I started choking, but I couldn't stop eating. And suddenly, I was a shark.
Uh-oh. Sharks shouldn't be on dry land. Shark Simulator, I guess.
I rolled tumbled off a cliff and into the ocean. Now, I was hungrier than ever. I wanted fat, juicy seals.
Gosh, I'm actually having the chills.
I tore off her flipper and it tasted really good.
Oh, I'm blinded.
Grabbed on tight. But I was so hungry, I jumped out of the water. When I opened my eyes, everything had changed.
I don't want to be this. I don't know what it is, but it looks like an eel.
Now I was a monster and I smelled people everywhere.
She smelled people.
I was big, but I moved real quiet.
Uh-oh. I'm actually having the chills, guys. Holy.
I wanted to stop, but also I didn't.
No, copyright, copyright.
After the last passenger, I was still hungry. And to cross the
Dude. She ate
so I
2 rabbits, a seal, 3 people. How are you still hungry?
slithered onto the sand, and the good smell went into an old pipe.
I hope for her this is like a dream.
I got closer and closer.
Oh, I think I need to go to her bed.
All of my stomach started growling.
All?
Suddenly, I was me again. I held my breath for a long time, but I couldn't hear anything. I think it's waiting for me to fall asleep. But it's not going to wait much longer. It needs to be, and we both know I will be delicious.
That's creepy.
I'm not sure if I believed all of that, but I'm sure Edie would have.
I heard a cat meow.
I can't describe it, but I felt like some part of Molly was still here.
That's the cat.
This will be obvious later, but my mom never told me any of these stories. Edie would have, but Mom didn't like bringing up the past. Though, when we adopted a stray kitten, she was the one who named it Molly. I spent a lot of time in Great-Grandma Edie's room.
Well, she had a lot of birds.
Her room was like a museum.
Oh, these things.
For 500 years, the Finches have been famous throughout Norway for their fortune and misfortune. Odin Finch buries the latest victims of the family curse, his wife Ingeborg and their newborn son, Johan. On January 7th, 1937, he set sail with his family and his house, hoping to leave the curse behind.
Oh, okay. I didn't know that was
Waves
possible.
off the coast of Washington send the house and Odin to the bottom of the sea. Odin's daughter Edie, with husband Sven and baby Molly, step ashore on their new home, Orcas Island. Odin Finch is the first to be buried in the new family cemetery. His daughter Edie is already dreaming of a new Finch house. Whatever's wrong with this family, it goes back a long ways.
Odin, that's a god name, but I can't recall which god it is.
When Edie told people Sven was killed by a dragon, she could also have said he was building a dragon-shaped slide that collapsed. She could have, but she didn't. One summer, they evacuated the island, but Edie refused to go. For a few weeks, she was a celebrity.
Typical grandmas.
I hadn't thought of myself as Edith Jr. for a long, long time. Edie gave a big interview about a mole man living under the Finch house. My mom was furious. Even in her 90s, sometimes Edie seemed a lot younger than my mother.
Oh, those glasses don't look straight. And that looks like an expensive...
The only trace Grandpa Sam's first wife, Kay, left on the house was the pink bathroom. It was a pretty big trace.
Why don't I... why... is... why... why fluff on a toilet? Why?
There's a secret in this bathroom.
Ooh, cool. Oh, can I pull the lever?
In the last place you would look. It isn't in the cupboard.
Cool.
It's hidden in this book.
Whoa.
Sven gave Sam an old camera he'd refurbished. He never put it down. From the paintings on the wall, it was clear my brother Milton had been here before me.
Aww. The picture looks like my dad and my uncle together. That's why I said aw. But also this is like really cute.
And that he never talked about him.
He probably died.
I guess my grandpa didn't like history any more than my mom did.
How I Want to Remember My Brother by Sam Finch. The thing I remember is that when he made up his mind, that was it.
Oh no. Okay, never mind. I thought it was like a paraglide thingy, like he had a parachute on it. Oh, you have to do it with 2 sticks.
My brother said he'd die before he ate another mushroom. And he did. At Barbara's funeral, we swore he'd never be afraid again. And he wasn't. I think Calvin always wanted to fly.
No, don't jump off.
But that day, he finally made up his mind to do it. I told him going around was impossible. Maybe if I hadn't said that,
I'm not gonna tell you again.
maybe if the wind hadn't picked up, then maybe he'd still be here. But I doubt it. I think he'd already made up his mind.
Can I just stop? Unfortunately, I don't think that's a possibility. Damn it. I do not want people to die. The stick is gonna break because my controller's vibrating.
That's what I want to remember about my brother. The day he made it to 95. And he did.
Calvin's story felt strangely familiar. When I was younger, I remember trying to do the exact same thing.
Same. We had a swing in our garden, and I mean, like, I think everyone did the same thing, no? I don't think I'm the only one.
After the funeral, Edie roped off Calvin's half of the room. Mom said Grandpa Sam enlisted at 18 and never set foot in the room again.
Cool.
The passages were a pretty tight fit. They'd obviously been built for smaller hands and bellies. Growing up, I always thought of Barbara as a child star.
Well, I see why, if you see the room.
I never thought about how hard it must have been for her afterwards. Of all the stories people wrote about Barbara's death, I'm surprised Edie saved this one.
Oh, Jack here with another.
Ah, I'm in for a story.
America's most unfortunate family. I'm calling it the surprise ending of Barbara.
But I thought Norway.
As a child star, Barbara was famous for her scream. Now at 16, she was all washed up. A has-been. But in a lucky break, she'd been asked to perform her signature scream at a local convention for monster movie fans. It was just the boost her career needed. Unfortunately, her scream hadn't aged well.
Getting better. I think you just need the right motivation.
Her biggest fan and current boyfriend, Rick, was about to demonstrate when...
Now that was a great scream.
It was Barbara's father, Sven. He'd slipped into a table saw and had to be rushed to the emergency room.
Oh.
So Barbara got stuck babysitting her youngest brother, Walter. Her convention comeback was cancelled.
Okay, I'm hearing frustration, but I'm not hearing terror. What if I tried...
A gang of hoodlums in Halloween masks have been terrorizing Orcas Island tonight. Police are urging residents to...
That came from the basement.
You're right! Also, I loved your delivery on that. Why is your basement door locked?
Because my dad likes making puzzles and secret passages. There's a key hidden in the music box. The secret is to keep winding and winding until finally the key pops out.
Thanks, babe. I'll be back in a sec.
20 minutes later, Rick hadn't returned. So Barbara went to look for him, right on cue. She reached for the music box.
Oh, okay.
And as she wound the key, she listened for Rick, but the house was silent.
No, I don't want to get spooked.
She found Rick's crutch and imagined the worst.
Why isn't she looking underneath there? Oh no, I don't like this.
The infamous Hookman killer, Dr. Carl Hamill, who impaled and then ate his family 10 years ago tonight.
The old fridge rattled and grew still.
Oh dear!
Rick?
Oh,
Barb, relax. I was just trying to scare you to help you find your scream.
Well, I'm not scared, Rick. I'm furious.
Then act furious. All I'm getting from you now is that you're hurt and confused and you...
She threw him out, but she kept a little something to remember him by.
Barb, have you seen my other crutch?
And she was still holding it when she fell asleep watching the late picture show. Hours later...
Barbara! Walter, what's going on up there? Ah! Okay, I'm coming up, but if this is a trick, you're dead, Walter.
dum.
Walter vanished, but his bedside radio was still on.
Orcas Island police describe the man as 6 feet tall, with a steel hook for a hand. Residents are urged to lock all doors and windows and notify the police of any suspicious activity.
Barbara turned saw the hookman, and was speechless. He was quite smashing. He couldn't get enough of Barbara.
Okay, Barbara. There's gotta be another way out of here.
Yeah, because it's an Edith Finch house.
Played her part beautifully. Molly's door hadn't been opened in years. The hinges grow. He wasn't moving, but she sensed the story might not be over yet. The hookman had vanished. She listened for his breathing, but all she heard was...
I would not do this, but
She heard whispering. It was coming from inside the house.
Oh dear.
The monsters had come to surprise her. For Barbara, it was a dream come true. Then she saw what kind of monsters they were, and she realized what was about to happen. She was going to be famous. And with her final breath, Barbara Finch gave the performance of her life. I wasn't there myself, but I hear Barbara was magnificent. Poor girl. She had a taste for stardom. But unfortunately, so did her fans. Of course, the police blamed it all on poor Rick, who disappeared the same night. And little Walter, hiding under his bed the whole time. He took it all pretty hard, but that's another story. As for Barbara, tucked inside the music box is all they ever found of her. Her ear. Now that's what I call a real eerie tale.
oh, that was a that was a bad pun and also bad delivered, especially the second one.
Edie told me all Barbara wanted was to be remembered, as absurd as that comic was. Maybe what Edie saw was a happy ending.
So yeah, now we know how to get there.
I guess now I know why Mom didn't like me playing with the music box. Whenever people ask me about my family, the first thing they always want to know about is Barbara.
I mean, kind of logical. If she's famous, like... Okay. The walk animation, that was not too bad. Not too good. A pool table. I like the pool. I had to drink some water.
Mom said the basement was off limits, unless I wanted another tetanus shot. I saw Edie sneak down to the basement once, carrying packages. I thought maybe she was hiding presents. It turned out she was hiding a lot more than that.
I can't see anything. Okay, now I can.
I remember asking Mom once about where Walter had gone. She said after Barbara died, he got as far away as he could. If there's a pattern in all these stories, I think it's that none of us has gotten very far.
I think that's the old landscape the guy or girl loved. The guy, probably Walter.
Goodbye, everyone. I can't believe I've been down here for 30 years. On that first day, after the shaking started, I didn't think I'd survive a week. But after a few days, I settled into a routine. That's what kept me sane. Having a schedule, living for today. I always expected to be dead tomorrow. But if you wait long enough, you get used to anything. Even a monster on the other side of a door starts to feel normal. Almost friendly. And then one day, everything just stopped.
That's
Whatever that thing
creepy.
was, it was gone. Maybe it got tired of waiting. Or maybe I just got tired of being afraid. It's been a week now, the longest in 30 years. I'm done waiting. I have to leave. Well, I still can.
Why do they all have so many books?
It's out there somewhere. Whatever killed Barbara and Molly and Calvin. Maybe this is all a mistake. But I need to stop living the same day, even if it kills me.
Oh, I like the artistic style. Holy.
Whatever's out there, I want you to know I'm ready for it. I'm going to appreciate all of it, especially the food. I don't mind if I only have a year left. Or a month. Or a single week. I'd be happy with one new day. I can already imagine the sun on my face.
Oh no.
Walter died when I was 6. I can't believe my mom never told me he was down here. I'm sure my mom was trying to protect me. Maybe she was afraid I'd end up like Walter.
Okay, these two are just the same books. Why do you have multiple copies of the same book?
Uncle under the house. I can only imagine what else she was hiding. I don't want to make the same mistakes she made. Trying to bury something that's still alive. Now that there's only one of us left, or maybe 2, I thought it was time I heard the stories for myself and found out what happened to everyone else. But now I'm worried the stories themselves might be the problem. Maybe we believed so much in a family curse, we made it real.
I don't think this train is driving anymore, guys.
I don't know if I should even be writing this.
That's what I thought. Like, that's why probably the mom didn't want to,
Maybe it'd be better if all this just died with me.
why the mother didn't want to put, like, tell the
But I
stories.
thought you should know about your family. And the history you're a part of. Though to be honest, I feel as lost as you probably do right now. I think the people in these stories believed them, for what that's worth.
Oh, this is too dark. Come on. Is there an option to like brighten up everything? Yes.
When you look at the house, that history of imagination and stubbornness and madness, any of it seems possible.
Oh. Didn't know there was a way to go there.
I think we've been surrounded by death for so long, we've just gotten used to it. What kind of family finishes building a cemetery before starting the house?
Do you want me to jump off or okay, never mind.
It's embarrassing for me to admit this, but the pet cemetery made me more uncomfortable than the human one. 3 of the gerbils are mine. 2 had been my fault. Sven built the house, but it was Edith who designed the cemetery.
Only 16 years old. Over 50. Edie was all. It's over 90 years. Sven 40, I mean 39, 11. Oh. $10. Oh gosh, imagine.
I'm sure Odin's monument had been Edie's idea. My mom was always trying to move on, but for Edie, the past never went away.
In the past is what makes people, so I get that.
She could see it poking out of the water at low tide.
Oh, that's the house.
Edie said she dreamed about the old house every night.
That's cool.
Edie's side was always easier for me to understand. But the older I get, the more I can see where my mom was coming from. dad had been
1
pretty
year.
strict, but it wasn't enough to save her brothers. She was just trying to do better.
Gus. I like that name.
She lost 2 of her brothers, just like I did. I get why she tried so hard to protect us. We never found Milton's body, so my mom insisted we were putting up a monument, not a tombstone. There's so many things I wish I could ask my mom now. Part of me thinks this is what she wanted all along. For me to come back someday and find everything out for myself. But looking back on it now, if she told me there was going to be so much climbing, I never would have come when I was 22 weeks pregnant.
Yeah, but she's 17. Dude, I wasn't gonna be like mean. So I just thought she had a belly. It's not good, not good. That's right. I'm not mistaking that, right? 1999. Not even an adult. And she's already pregnant. Oh, there, I need to go. I see now.
I never met Grandpa Sam, but I think he and my mom had a lot in common. They were both pretty intense. Sam spent his life shooting photos, but Mom said he got nervous being in front of the camera. I guess we're all afraid of something. Instead of hiding from death, Sam seemed to go out of his way to meet it.
I'm kind of clueless where to go now. Oh.
Dawn, I promise, you'll never forget this weekend.
Yes, sir.
These memories are gonna last a lifetime.
Okay.
Am I gonna have to shoot anything?
It's a hunting trip, Dawn. Shooting is strongly encouraged.
Shouldn't we be leaving?
Just want to get a shot of you, Dawn, then we can take off.
Oh, I need to
Perfect.
It's gonna rain the whole weekend, isn't it? I will never forget this weekend, Dad.
That's the spirit. Okay, got it.
I'm gonna take some pictures, okay?
Just be careful. The camera's older than you are.
Aw. You're right, Dad. It's starting to clear up. Still freezing, though.
Definitely should not have drunk all that coffee.
Nothing quite like being outside.
Hold still while I take a picture of you.
I definitely won't be moving.
Are you done?
Hey!
That's a keeper.
Oop. A little more gas in the tank, I guess. I'm just saying, I'm not always gonna be here, Dawn. You'll need to remember this stuff, if you want to survive.
I'll be fine, Dad.
You know who else thought he was gonna be fine?
Some guy who died.
Dawn, I'm being serious.
I know, Dad. You're always serious. Doesn't being out here make you want to chill out?
To tell you the truth, I haven't been out here in 20 years. Dawn, don't you think you could find something more interesting to photograph? Last time I was with my brother Calvin. Man, that was a great trip. Your grandpa Sven taught us how to fish, how to build a fire. We found an old logging trail. There were deer everywhere. I bet if I could remember where that trail was, we'd spot a buck for you in no time. Give me a minute to check the map.
Dad!
Good eyes, Dawn. Before you take the shot, let me get a picture of him.
Dad, I...
Just breathe. Turn off your imagination. Focus on your target. Let me get behind you.
Oh.
Do I have to do this?
Dawn, you don't have to do anything. But if you want to survive, you need to be strong. Great shot, Dawn! I'm proud of you, Dawn. Always remember that, okay? Sorry, Dawn. Just gotta reset the timer.
Dad, it's twitching. I think
That's
it's
totally
so-
normal, Dawn. Just focus on the camera. Try not to think about...
Dad!
Oh no.
Of all these stories, that's the one I wish most that my mom had told me. After Sam died, my mom and Edie got really close. They'd both lost a lot. I can't imagine my mom ever writing poetry, and yet...
A poem for Gus, who always said the wedding was a bad idea. Our father never hit us kids, at least not very hard, before the day my brother said with teenage disregard that he'd be dead before he'd see a wedding in our yard. My father made him come, of course, but Gus stood far apart, just flew his kite and bottled up the storm inside his heart. I tried to talk him out of it, but though he'd never met her, we don't need a stepmom were the words that
I now pronounce you husband and wife. You may kiss the bride.
I'm hypnotized.
When the time for photos came, Dad ordered him to come here. But Gus declined, and as a sign held up his middle finger. The wind picked up, and panicked geese appeared and quickly went. But all the humans did that day was go inside the tent. The rain came down in buckets then, but no one seemed afraid that nature might destroy the tent our dad had crudely made. The thunder sounded much too close and full of angry power. But all my father said to this was, "Make the music louder."
Uh-oh.
I wish that I could truly say I thought about you on that day. Out there on the beach alone, just you, the wind, the sea, and foam. But I didn't. Until we found you.
She never talked about him, but Mom told me once if I was a boy, they were going to name me Gus. My mom moved up to the loft after her brothers died. At the time, it was as far away as she could get. I can't imagine what it was like for her to lose 2 sons after she'd already lost 2 brothers. She spent a summer building houses in Calcutta, where she met my dad, Sanjay.
cute.
Religion was another thing my mom never talked about, but I think it helped her a lot after her dad died.
Why is it that people call it the Holy Bible and just the Bible? Because, like, isn't it normal for a religious book to be holy? I don't get that. Oh. Uh-oh.
Dear Kay, do you remember the way Gregory used to laugh when he thought he was alone? Like something funny was happening, but only he could see it. I think he saw things the rest of us don't.
Hand over, Gregory. It's time to... Hold on, sweetie. Hello? Sam, I told you I don't want to talk right now.
I wonder what he saw. What his world was like. You reminded me so much of Calvin. Lost in his imagination. Whatever it was, he saw. It sure made him happy. I know how silly it sounds. That I worried about a baby being too happy. But I could feel him slipping away.
Sorry about that, Gregory.
I know you did everything you could. Maybe if I hadn't called that night.
Damn it. Hold on, I don't want to
I wish he could have told us about the world he saw. There's so much I don't understand about Gregory, about everything.
And that's why you look after your children when they bathe.
But I know what happened wasn't your fault.
At least after your babies.
I'm sure he's happy. Sam.
Oh, okay, okay, okay. I came from here, right? I'm like 99% sure I came from there. Or am I wrong? Did I come from up here? No, I climbed up there. You are here. Nice. When your house is so big, it needs a floor plan to navigate through it. I think I'm doing something wrong by going out here. The door is closed. Maybe there's something here in the bookshelves. I knew it. I knew it.
My mom moved to India a week after graduation and got a job teaching English. Lewis was born a year later.
And she's the youngest? Yeah.
When my dad died, I don't think Mom knew where else to go. I'm sure Edie was happy to have her back. And to see kids in the house again. The house had to get a little bigger, but Edie was used to that. And for a while, things were good. Almost normal, but it didn't last.
That's the big dad, right, Odin?
The beginning of the end was Milton's 10th birthday. when Edie gave him the castle. After Milton disappeared, the only thing he left behind was a room full of paintings.
Doo-doo. Whoa.
Milton Finch in The Magic Paintbrush.
It's
I
Milton.
was 4 when Milton disappeared.
That's one more to go. Oh yeah, I need to close the book, damn it. It's really pretty up top of here. Holy moly.
Mom spent months searching for my brother. Then she sealed the doors. Whatever Milton had found in the house, Mom didn't want it getting out.
Was this here the whole time?
Definitely blamed Edie, but I think Lewis blamed himself. After he graduated, he just spent more and more time in his room until Mom got him a job at the cannery.
That's a boat.
His room smelled very, very familiar. That part of him lived on.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay.
Dear Mrs. Finch, as Lewis's psychiatrist, I can understand your desire for an explanation. As I see it, the trouble began in January, shortly after we convinced your son to seek treatment for substance abuse. Newly sober, I
knew
believe
it.
Lewis first noticed the monotony of his daily life. He kept working at the cannery, but he withdrew part of himself. In our sessions, I saw the same behavior. His mind began to wander. I asked him to describe it.
Whoa.
He said he started small,
Whoa.
imagining a labyrinth.
This is a next level experience. This is literally how my mind has been following school this year.
Then something moved. Bats. And toads.
Oh my
Figures
gosh.
had not names.
If you're like not really sure why I'm so like, I have to move the arm who's like dropping the fish, and I also have to move the character, and it's like doable,
He knew it was all in his head.
but it's literally the first time I've experienced something like this in a video game.
But he took it very seriously. I had hoped he'd find himself. But he found something more. I worried about him then. Daydreaming at the cannery. I spoke with his boss.
I'm
He said
missing.
Lewis had become a model employee. Methodical, tireless, focused. Like a whole new Lewis. So I let him go on. I even encouraged him. It seemed very promising at first. He told me he'd made a new friend.
The screen's getting bigger. He's probably gonna chop off his own hands.
On the edge of a city he named Lewis Topia.
Yeah, you
Built
don't
the city
even
up
see
slowly,
where you're.
brick by brick. Then he made musicians.
Yay, the saxophone!
And songs for them to play. He talked about starting a band. And he was always humming something. Every day his imagination grew stronger. He no longer spoke at the cannery. But but his chopping was as reliable as ever. Then one day it struck him. At all the cheering crowds, even the stones under his feet, were all in his imagination, so he could do whatever he wished. He held an election for mayor, and he won. They begged him to stay, but his mind was already wandering. It became a game for him.
Cool.
He'd conquer a city, then immediately push on. New Louisville. St. Louis. He started drifting away from our reality. Minneapolis, until one day he forgot to go home from the cannery. Even as his mother pleaded with him, part of Louis kept sailing on. In Louisburg, he heard rumors of a handsome queen.
Oh, I could have made up the story there.
The queen was on her own quest for radiant rainbows. He followed the sound of her silver harp. His chase led him to a golden palace east of the sun and west of the moon. Even then, his logic remained sound. He knew the world was all in his imagination. But he was so proud of having created it. In his own eyes, he'd become something greater than a king.
He became a god. Or a messiah.
For someone who'd never known success in the real world, I think it was overwhelming. And then it struck him that the real Louis was not the one chopping sand, but the one climbing the steps of a golden palace.
Don't do drugs, people. Just don't do drugs.
My imagination is as real as my body, he told me. It was hard to argue with him. We began to forget the world we know. I think it pained him to remember Louis, the cannery worker. began to despise the man with a royal contempt. I still thought I could save him. Even after he said he was being crowned king over all the lands of wonder. The palace would be packed with his companions.
Where's the saxophone? I'll find it.
Including the wise Calico who'd insisted on inviting him. His queen waited, holding his crown.
Okay, this music is getting loud as fuck.
One thing left to do.
But it fits.
Bend down his head.
Oh no. Why would you do that? Come on.
And the rest I think you know. Mrs. Finch, your son was a kind man who will be missed by all of us who knew him.
My brother was really cool. I wish you could have met him.
Wait, in the book was written Prince. Here, his prince waited, holding his crown. I like the logo.
On the way back from Lewis's funeral, my mom told me to start packing. She waited until the day before we left to tell Edie. I'm not sure if she wanted to make it easier or harder. I wish we'd stayed. But I understand why we left. My mom ended up leaving everything behind. What happened that night had been coming for a long time. Maybe it should have come sooner.
Maybe it should have.
But it had to end one way or another. All that's left now is to tell you about that last night.
That's a ballpoint pen.
That whole last day, Edie just watched us pack and didn't say a word. Until supper, when she raised her glass and said,
To our final night together, and all our final nights apart.
Grandma, you know what I said about alcohol. Some of your medications are very
Edith,
specific.
I left a present for you in the hallway. Why don't you go open it? The grown-ups have to argue now.
I'm sorry, you're right. We're all leaving tomorrow. Let's just enjoy our last...
I'm not leaving.
Edith, you're excused.
Oh, the grandma.
The power had been shut off that morning, but Edie always had plenty of candles. When my mom set up the library, I don't think she knew about the other entrance, or that Edie had a key to it.
That thing you're afraid of isn't going to end when you leave the house. Edith has a right to know these stories.
My children are dead because of your story. I think it's best if Edith and I leave tonight. We'll have the nursing home send a van for you in the morning. Okay?
Dear Edith, there's so many stories I wish I could tell you, but there's only time for one. This is about what happened on the night you were born. That night, the tide went way, way out.
Sometimes it's difficult to like see if I have to do something or a cutscene is gonna play.
There'd been an earthquake out in the middle of the ocean.
Oh.
They called it the lowest tide in 1,000 years. God, it smelled awful. You know, I've seen that house every day of my life. But I never thought I'd go back to it. When the fog rolled in, I lost my way.
I'm not losing my way. Unless it's gonna turn me.
I got turned around.
Okay, it's turning me. Yeah, okay, I'm gonna lose my way now. How does...
For a while, I wondered. I started seeing things.
How are they like writing their dead experiences in a book? That doesn't make sense to me.
Things I'd forgotten had ever existed. But when I saw them, they felt like old friends. That night, a lot of things came back to me.
Oh,
Or
I'm here.
maybe I came back to them.
I think it's programmed to do this though.
Can't explain, but that I need you to try and...
Edith, what are you doing in here?
It's mine.
Edith!
Mom, you're gonna rip it. Let go.
I kicked and screamed, but Mom dragged me to the car. I never saw Great-Grandma Edie again. The next morning, the band came to pick her up, but she was already gone. After that, we moved around a lot. We both tried to make the best of it. A few years went by. My mom didn't like to talk about it. But she started getting sick a lot.
Uh-oh.
The rest happened pretty
COVID.
quickly. She got better for a while, didn't. And then I was alone. The last Finch left alive. Until I found out about you. I'm still not sure what to tell you about all this. If we lived forever, maybe we'd have time to understand things. But as it is, I think the best we can do is try to open our eyes.
My controller is like vibrating weirdly, dude.
All of this is.
Like you're beating hard.
This journal was supposed to be for you. But now I hope you'll never see it. I just want to meet you and tell you all these stories myself. But I guess if you're reading this now, things didn't work out that way.
It's a thing
This
that
is
there
where
can
your story begins.
only be
I'm
one
sorry I won't be there to see it.
Edith.
It's a lot to ask, but I don't want you to be sad that I'm gone. I want you to be amazed that any of us ever had a chance to be here at all. Good luck.
Joshua. Well, I enjoyed that a lot actually. Although it's a fucking sad story, dude, that's not enjoyable, but the rest of it, I did. I don't know if I should let the cutscenes roll through. I'm probably gonna do it anyways, but the frog who killed the baby. Why isn't he in prison? He should be, right? He definitely should be in prison. Oh well. I'm gonna let the screen roll through, but unless something is gonna pop up in the meanwhile, I'm gonna stay quiet. So this is probably the end of the stream. Thanks for watching. If you liked it, or if you want to see more, please please follow. Subscribe's on YouTube, damn it. Small brain fart. Yeah, and then I'll see you in the next one. Okay, so I just ended. So I'm gonna leave you guys here. Thanks for watching if you did, and have a nice day. Bye.